Hi, everybody. So, yesterday I posted a video about our Aliyah story, and I called it part one because I realized that there's a part two. Yesterday I shared about why we made Aliyah. This was all in honor of Parshat Lech Lecha. Why we made Aliyah, what brought us here. And then very quickly I said, and we're very happy. So now I wanted to explain why we're very happy and what the transition was like for us and for our kids, schools, work, all these things. So maybe let me start with the kids, because these were all things we were very worried about. So we chose where we live based on the school that we found that we wanted. So our school is like a non-traditional education. There are a lot of schools now in Israel that are some kind of non-traditional education school, like Waldorf, as they call it, Anthroposophy here, Montessori, forest education. There are all sorts of, democratic, which I still don't really understand what it is. I think it means that the kids are in charge. I'm not really sure. All these kinds of non-traditional education, and then there's also a lot of schools popping up where they're trying to not blend, but like bring together different parts of the community. So our school is a mishalev, as they say, a mixed religious and non-religious and everything in between. They acknowledge that there is something in between religious and not religious. And that was really important for us. There are also Jewish Arab schools where they're trying to create dialogue, like start kids young, So a lot of these schools are popping up, and we chose where we live based on the school and for us, the Dati community. Those are the main things, and can you live in a house or is it all apartments? Like, we wanted a little space, we wanted green, so, right, so that's that. And so when the kids came, our younger, let's forget about the baby. The baby wasn't in the picture yet. So we had two kids. Our daughter, the younger one, she went into Gan Chova, which is kindergarten. But in Israel, it's still Gan. It's like preschool still. And our son went into Kita Bet, into second grade, in that school that we found. Our daughter was just in the local religious Gan, and it was like multiple ages together. And I would say, one of the biggest transitions is the language for the kids. It was easier. We thought it'd be easier for our daughter because she was 2 years younger. Just drop her in Gan, she'll be fine. She'll figure it out. But it was actually easier for our son, who has all sorts of learning issues. And, we were not expecting it to be easy for him. But it was, because, typically, this is a typically, obviously, like not all boys and girls are the same, but typically boys play more physically and girls play more verbally. And that is the case with our children. So our son was able to really get into playing soccer and collecting things and whatever, and Pokemon cards and things that don't involve so much language. So he was able to kind of get in and play. And then he learned the language from that. Whereas our daughter, the girls play like family, and they play these games that are much more based on language. And our daughter had, much more trouble, and she's still struggling. So we're here 2 years. She would say that she struggles to understand. I think she understands quite a bit and can express quite a bit, but it still feels like a foreign language to her. She still feels infinitely more comfortable with her Anglo friends. And that's something to know. I thought it would be so fast for the kids, but it's not that fast. Having said that, though, the kids do really like living here. Like kids, Israel is a place that like worships children, really. Like kids are considered kind of independent to some degree by 9 years old. By 9 years old, they're allowed to stay at home alone. They're allowed to cross streets by themselves. So you see this often. You see a lot of kids walking, a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, like my kids, walking alone together. And because it's so common, you're not afraid of it. Like people know, drivers know, other just like, grown-ups who are just walking around, like, expect to see kids walking by themselves. And if a kid ever needs something, like no one would ever just walk past them, Also where we live, like all the shop owners, like, we know them and they know us. And I think this needs to be like its own video, and then I'm going to do another video on our transition. So the kids, this was the kids' transition for us. I think it's different for everyone. It depends where you live. Where we live, it's like not, an Anglo town. There's like a, couple handfuls, which was very, very helpful. But it's not like you could, just go around speaking English. Like many of the teachers don't speak English. Like it's not, but it's good. Like they're learning and they're developing and they're realizing how they learned a brand new language in 2 years, like really in a year, and it's so cool. Like they're strong kids, and they're smart, and I think that they see that. So this is part 2, and then I'm going to post part 3 later.